Hey guys, Emma here. I just woke up really recently, which is really stupid because it was like, it's almost 2 o'clock. And I don't even know why I slept that long. I guess I must have been tired or something. I don't know. But anyway, here I am doing a vlog, and despite what some people may think, it will not be about the 4th of July because I've already had way too much of that, and I love my country, but like, I can't take all the crazy posts on Tumblr about like I don't even know. I just don't like it. So, no, I will not be talking about the 4th of July, although I hope everyone has a happy and safe holiday. I had something in mind to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. So, I will have to think about it. Well, I was going to talk about censorship, so maybe I'll do that today. But, I really, really hate it when things get censored. Like, just sometimes on, like, for instance, like, Whose Line Is It Anyway? I used to watch that show. And there would be some episodes that, they'd cut out something so you couldn't know what they were saying. Or, I mean, I guess you could try to figure it out, I guess, but, like, I wouldn't know. So then later on the internet, I would find it. It would be, like, the uncensored version, and so I'd watch it, and I'd finally understand what I didn't years before because they had cut it out. And, like, okay, they showed it on ABC Family, so that makes sense, I guess. Like, it's a family. But if it's late at night, do you honestly think kids are going to be up watching it at that time? I guess some parents might allow it, but, like, I don't think that kids would be up at 11 and 11:30 watching Whose Line Is It Anyway. That's just my opinion. But anyway, so they had to, like, censor themselves, and they couldn't say the F word and stuff like that. And it just really bothers me because, to me, like, they're just words, And they've had this, I'm probably shouldn't say this because, like, some people disagree with me, I know, but, like, they've had such a negative connotation put to them, but honestly, most of them, they mean other things, like, originally, and then they just became this bad word, And, like, yes, a lot of people use it as a bad word, like, they use it because they are angry, or whatever, but, like, or just for impact or whatever. But, I don't know, I guess, sometimes I get bothered by it, but it just depends on the situation. Usually I don't get bothered by cuss words. In fact, I watch a lot of people that use cuss words rather often. So it just really, it kind of bothers me when people are not allowed to say what they would want to say. And, like, the other day, my dad told me that they were changing the Into the Woods movie, and I was like, what? Because, I don't like change, and I'll talk about this some other time. Like, I do not like it. I'm a very harsh movie critic when it comes to if it was a book first. Like, I don't mess that up. Or else, no. But, so when I heard this, I was very, very angry. And Dad was like, yeah, they're removing one of the songs and keeping someone alive that was dead. And I was like, no, they can't do that. That would change the entire story. Like, I was super mad, and I might have said this before in a vlog, I don't remember, but my point in this is, I read the article that my dad was talking about, and they're not doing that. What they were talking about was people wanted them to censor it because there's an affair that happens, and, like, that's not okay, But there are so many, there are so many worse things that you could talk about, and worse movies out there. See Paperboy. Actually, don't, because it's not a good movie. Anyway, but, like, there are so many worse things that you could talk about. And also, Into the Woods, although it is about fairy tales, it is not a children's movie. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, like, PG-13. So, no, don't censor it. That makes me so mad. But they're not censoring it. Like, Stephen Sondheim said himself that they're keeping those things in, and they were just talking about, like, they've, in the past, talked about censoring it, or whatever. And, like, that just made me super mad. But I'm glad that it'll be fine. He's seen it, and he says it's a wonderful adaptation of the play, and that makes me happy. But, like, I remember when I was a junior, I read Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and, like, we read an article about how they wanted to censor that book. And it just made me realize how terrible that would be if you censored that book, because it would cover up the terrible things that happened, like the racist things that our country has done, and that's not acceptable. I mean, you have to own up to your mistakes, and our country made a terrible mistake, being extremely racist, and they still are sometimes. People are, and it's sad, and it's terrible, and I feel like it shouldn't happen, but it still does. And so by taking out a lot of the story because it would offend people or whatever, you're not telling the true story. And that's what bugs me about censorship. You can't take out something just to hide what you did. And you also can't protect people from things. I mean, you could shelter your kids all you want. They're still going to find out about things that you don't want them to find out about yet. They're still going to. People talk. People know. Like, they know more than they let on. And as much as you try to shelter them or just keep them away from those things, they will still find them. And so, my point in all this is censorship really does no good, I think. You just, like, we had one more story. I know this is getting long, but when I was a sophomore, we had this list of books that we could read for book reports that we did for my English class. And I have a friend, and her mom's kind of strict. And by kind of, I mean she is incredibly strict. She took a look at this book and this list of books, and my friend had picked one that she wanted to read, and she was like, "What's that about?" And she told her, and she was like, "No, you can't read that." But then, not only did she prevent her daughter from reading it, she talked to my English teacher and was like, "No, this book is not suitable, and no one should be allowed to read it." That outraged me. I wasn't going to read it anyway, because it kind of terrifies me. It's, The Lovely Bones, which, if you don't know what that is about, it's about, like, a rape victim. Who was also murdered. So, that's, it's kind of brutal, but, so I wasn't going to read it. But I was totally fine with other people reading it. Like, read it if you want. And she wanted to read it. And her mom talked to our English teacher and was like, "No, I don't think anyone should be reading this." Okay, keep in mind, we are 16 years old at this point, because it's like sophomore, I was like 15, 16, And you're gonna stop us from reading this book that is on a list that it made no sense to me. It was really outrageous, and like, the English teacher went along with it, and she's like, "Okay, yeah, no one can read that book anymore." And that made me furious, okay? Like I said before, I was not going to read the book. But so many people wanted to read the book, and they had to change, like, their entire, like, what if they had started on the book report already? I don't know. But they had to change it because that book's not allowed anymore because some mom stepped in and said it wasn't. Okay, I'm totally fine with parents parenting. Like, that is what they're supposed to do. That is their job. But do not come in and tell me how to run my life. That is my job now, and that was my parents' job, but not your job, And that just bugged me so much. Just, no, you have no idea. Like, I was pretty mad, and obviously it's 2 years later-ish, and I'm still mad about it, so But anyway, I just feel that if you, I don't know, this is kind of about censorship and kind of about parenting. I don't know. But I feel like if you censor your kids from, or like shelter them away from everything that's bad in the world, they're gonna break away from you. Like, they're gonna branch out and try to find those things and befriend people that will tell them anything they ask. Like, I know this from experience because that friend with that mom, she does know all these things, even regardless of whether her mom wants her to or not, you know? It's gonna happen. And, like, that's what I think parents need to realize. I'm not a parent, so I'm not trying to boss everyone around and, like, tell them how to run their, like, tell them how to parent, because like I said before, I don't like when people do that to me or to my parents. But if you keep them under this little box and, like, try to protect them from the real world, that's not a good idea. They're gonna have to go out there eventually. Like, we're all going to college now, which is just the next step into the real world. And if they don't know anything, like, if they've been protected from all these terrors of the world, then what exactly do you expect to happen to them? Like, how do you expect them to cope, you know, if you haven't told them anything? So, yeah, this was really just a random rant, mostly brought on by the Into the Woods thing about censorship, but I just feel those things are important and something to keep in mind, and by no means is my opinion the right way to go about things or the right thing to believe or anything. But yeah, happy 4th of July, everyone, and enjoy my rant about censorship and sheltering children. Bye.